Hey, thanks for checking out the Ham and Spam Retro Review. If you like what you hear, please remember to subscribe, leave a like, or leave a comment, whatever platform you listen to this on.
And also remember, there's always additional content on our website, hamandspam.com, where you can find links to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy it.
For even more content, check out our friends Nick and Brandon over at their podcast, Talk or Go Home.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's good timing.
So anyway, hey guys, we're back. For those of you that can't
Yes,
see
who's
us,
back?
which is everybody listening right now.
Thank your lucky stars you can.
So last time we recorded, it was right before Christmas. Since then, I had a little bit of time off, and my wife decided that she wanted to redo the floors in the house, which is great. Part of that was that the old floors, the old laminate floors, spilled over into the luscious Ham and Spam studio. So we had to move everything out of the studio and get the floor put in. Well, the floor's put in, and things are kind of back to normal, but not everything is here.
You know, I actually prefer this because I can set up into the microphone.
Instead of laying back and being all comfortable.
Yeah, having to contort myself like some kind of weird Cirque du
Contortionist
Soleil or whatever.
Contort yourself like some kind of weird contortionist. So anyway, just our setup is, I mean, it's still the same equipment, but the setup's a little different. But hopefully the next couple episodes, maybe it'll be back to normal. But anyway, so because of that, I did fail on the one goal that I had to finish 2020. Do you remember what it was?
I do not.
It was to finish Twilight Princess. I was not able to because we were working.
Yeah, you know, I really want my Wii U back. Man.
I know. I got to get there.
I'm gonna play Xenoblade Chronicles X again.
So usually we start these episodes by kind of talking about what we're playing a little bit. Maybe not the last episode, but the one before, we had talked about how we had acquired an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah. Well, we as in my family.
And what are you playing on the Xbox Series X? That $500 system.
On that $500 system, I am right now playing Tetris Effect Connected, which is an EA game. I know EA, Shmee, but we've really got into it, and Carrie and I have been playing a lot against each other. So
hold that thought about EA. I got a story about them.
Oh goodness. But really, that has been it. I haven't really dabbled back into Valhalla. I'm wanting to get a new TV before I really get into something like that, which makes Tetris even better to play. I don't know. Tetris is just easy. You can go with it, and like my wife and I, of all
Tetris.
things, I know. Well, you saw me play a little bit of it. It's not all that bad. It's kind of neat. They put a new spin on it. It's not like your daddy's Tetris, you know.
New spin, huh? So do you use blocks to make rows?
So what are you playing, Hammy?
I'm about to play in Minecraft.
Speaking of blocks, you're gonna chastise
Touche.
me. I'm gonna get you for it. But yeah, that's been up. So you've been playing Minecraft?
I have.
Have you been playing with Maze at all by chance?
I have not.
Okay. You know, right now we're kind of doing the hybrid school. The week before last, we were all virtual for the first time of the year. Then last week we were what they called staggered. So like A through M would go Monday and Tuesday, and then all kids were virtual on Wednesday, and then N through Z would go on Thursday and Friday. So when you're in school, you're in school. When you're out of school, you're virtual. So everybody had 2 in-school days, and then everybody had 2 virtual days. So I say all that to say he hasn't had a whole lot of time to play games because he's been doing school stuff at home. But we just finished basketball season today. Unfortunately, we come up a little bit short. Maze's team comes up a little bit short. But what that's hopefully going to do is going to free up some time for me where I don't have to get him back and forth to basketball practice. So, yay.
All right.
All right, that's kind of caught us up, I think. Happy New Year, by the way. This
Yeah.
is the first actual episode we've recorded in the new year.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
2021 been good to you so far?
I just came off my dad spending a week in the hospital.
Oh, wow. So that sounds like a no.
He's all right. He's had a little problem with his heart rate going up. They've got him on some medication and all, but I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing besides Minecraft. Of course, Animal Crossing.
Of course.
I've literally played that every day since I bought it. I've got 605 hours.
Oh
in the
my
game.
goodness, dude. That is ridiculous.
But
Hey, but if it's fun, go for it. Because, I got something for you.
is it pizza?
It will be soon.
Yes.
Maze is going to have 3 friends spend the night tonight. So we're trying to get recorded before everybody shows up. But no, the thing that I have for you, somebody had made a comment on Twitter, wanted to know if you play the game to immerse yourself in the game, or do you play the game to beat the game? And it's a very deep, like, it made me think. And my conclusion to that, and I'll let you comment on, but my conclusion to that is Sonic the Hedgehog has ruined video games for me. Because I play to beat the game as fast as I can. I don't immerse myself in games, and that's why I've kind of fell.
And so I
out of
hate
gaming a little bit.
RPGs.
Could be, probably so. An underlying condition, because you got to immerse yourself so much into it to do it.
That was actually a really good question. Was that one they asked for us? Or?
No. It's just something I had seen on Twitter, and I had just
no one interacts with us on Twitter.
No one interacts with us.
I'll say this: I play for the immersion, but not to the point where I feel like I'm in there. I play to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that a lot of games I'll go through and do everything, but I don't like to rush a game, and that hurts sometimes when I play games with Casey.
Right.
Because Casey will 100% rush a game.
Sorry, buddy.
Just he'll admit it. I mean, he flies through it.
Well, and like I said, I think I can hearken that all the way back to Sonic the Hedgehog 1. It was, now granted, there was a lot of platforming in Sonic 1, but Sonic 2, it was a lot more, hey, let's go fast and try to get through these levels. But it was always, hey, let's go fast, let's do this, let's get to, go from point A to point B as fast as possible.
Well, you need to retrain your brain.
I'm going to have to. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
And that's the thing with Zelda games, man. I can't. In Twilight Princess, I've beaten it several times. There was one playthrough I went through as quickly as I could, and it still took 40 hours.
Yeah.
Because halfway through, I was like, I still need to get all the hearts. Well, I still need to do this and that and get that. So I can't just rush through a game. I like to really enjoy them.
Well, do you just complete the game? I got to have all the hearts. Got to have all the weapons.
I don't count it as completing if I don't have everything.
Okay.
So I can't. If I get to the final boss, I have to have all the hearts. I can't do it before then.
You don't even attempt to try it.
No.
You don't go in there and possibly lose and say, maybe I should get some more hearts.
Because the thing with Zelda games is there's no point after you beat the boss. It just reloads the save before then. So I want that to be the final thing.
That's true. Okay. And that makes sense because that's unless you're going to play through it completely again, or if they have a new game or a new game plus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because some of the Batman games were like that. There was no way you were going to get all the power-ups and stuff in one playthrough. You had to go through a new game plus to get more experience.
Well, no, you could, because I did.
Well, I was using an example, but yeah, sure. Okay.
I did it every time. I mean, that's no problem. It wasn't even hard. It wasn't even slightly difficult.
Why do we even have a podcast? I don't know. But
Breath of the Wild, I wanted to complete all the shrines.
Right.
And upgrade my stamina and hearts as much as I could, and just getting caught up in it. I think I was at hour 180 before I beat Ganon.
Nice. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
I think we might have kind of said something about this. I don't know. I also saw on Twitter, but I was listening to another gaming podcast, and he had a fan, because they have actual fans that give them questions.
Yeah.
He had a fan send a question, wanted to know his thoughts, and in turn, I want your thoughts. You can go to the PlayStation Network store or the Xbox store, and you can find a game that is great that's been out for 2 or 3 years and spend $20 on it. Last of Us 2, whatever.
Yeah.
You can spend $20. It's a great game of the year in some categories. You can spend $20 and get that game, and it's a great game. But Nintendo and all their intellectual properties, like
oh yeah, I know what you're talking
like
about.
Zelda, you go and buy Breath of the Wild right now, it's still going to be $60.
And it's still outselling those $20
And it's
games.
still outselling those $20 games. How old is it now? For the Switch,
about to be 4 years.
For the Switch, it's 4, but
Yeah.
overall, it's
Oh, the Zelda series?
no. The Breath of the Wild.
It came out the day Switch came out.
Okay.
It launched with it,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. I thought
March
it was
3rd, 2017.
Well, there you go. All right.
And the series itself will be 35 this year.
Right.
I think the reason being is because all these other games, you've got like The Last of Us 2, which just won Game of the Year. And, I know several months it was being outsold by a 3-year-old game.
Right.
It's because those games, even if they're good, even if they're great, they're not masterpieces.
Sure.
And I saw today on Twitter, people were talking about how Breath of the Wild is trending right now on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's still held such a massive presence because that game is so, for lack of a better term, game changing.
Right.
I mean, there's several games that have come out that a lot of people have said, are blatant ripoffs of Breath of the Wild. I don't think so. I think that they're just heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild, like Genshin Impact for PlayStation and PC. Immortals Phoenix Rising was an Ubisoft game, which I haven't played. I want to play. I've heard nothing but good about it. But those games took a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild. It's clear to see.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Breath of the Wild itself really changed how open world games operate. And that's been kind of how Nintendo has always been. They've never fallen in line with following trends. They set trends for good or ill.
And if it's still selling like hotcakes,
yeah,
make your paper, I guess. I mean, because
And
people are
it
going to buy
is.
it. Hey, if it gets to a point where for a whole year it hardly sells, and you say, okay, we've got all these copies we need to get rid of now, yeah, you'll see it come down. But
I don't know.
Mario Kart 8, it's still selling.
Yeah, top selling Switch game.
It's still selling, and it's still selling for full price. So, I don't know.
And it was a Wii U port.
Yeah, and see, that's, I don't know. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Like you could cheapen it, and it would sell like hotcakes because it's cheaper now, or you can leave it like it is because it's selling like hotcakes as it is.
Here's my response to that whole thing. I can go pay $30 for a filet mignon, or I can go to McDonald's and pay $3 for 2 double cheeseburgers. All right.
I thought you were going somewhere different with that.
All right.
I can get a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking my head up it.
But what I'm saying is both of them are basically going to do the same. They're both going to give you, nourishment.
Sure.
Both of them are food, even though the McDonald's might be a little questionable. But at the same time, I mean, you're talking about a filet mignon versus 2 McDonald's double cheeseburgers. I mean, come on.
Right.
Who in their right mind is gonna say those cheeseburgers are better?
Right.
I throw price out the window.
A 5-year-old.
You
but
pay
yes.
for quality.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you're getting with the Nintendo game. So I didn't mean to just randomly throw those at you.
No, that's fine. I like talking about it.
well-
Plus, I will say this too. People talked about how PS4 was the place for exclusives.
Right.
PS4's top selling exclusive was Uncharted 4, which I think was around 14 million units. Switch has, I think, 6 or 7 games that have outsold it.
Yes. Of the top 10, like if you just go back just the last several months, the top selling games of December, of November, of October, and just go back, I bet you 6 or 7 of the top 10 have been Nintendo properties.
I think 8 out of the top 10 on Amazon for 2020.
Well, there you go.
Maybe 9. I can't. No, I think it was just 8.
So
Breath of the Wild was one of them.
Well, they're doing a good job with the Switch, and again, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely, and it has a higher attachment rate. They've said right now the Switch has been out in 2 months to be 4 years. It's already outpaced where PS4 was.
Right.
At 4 years. It's going to end up probably outselling it. Some people predict it may even catch PS2, which PS2 was out for 250 years.
While we're old.
But the fact that, say Uncharted 4, 14 million in sales, 110 million PS4 sold, somewhere in that neighborhood.
In that neighborhood, yeah.
So we're talking about what, at best, a 15% attachment rate.
Sure.
When Switch was at, I think the last numbers I saw, I can't remember how long it's been. It was like 60, 70 million in sales. And Animal Crossing was at like 22 million in sales. It's gone up since then. That's the last time I checked. We're talking about a 33% attachment rate.
Yeah, I was going to say a third of everyone's got that
That's
game.
insane.
That is insane.
So if we keep seeing that percentage stay with those numbers, and say Switch does catch PS2, which was
150 million,
something like that. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, you can't knock Nintendo. People try to rule them out all the time, and they just keep winning.
Yeah, they just keep coming back. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Sony is literally in every country, and I don't know if 100% of Nintendo necessarily.
Nintendo has gotten into China. That's helped them a lot. Switch is in China,
absolutely.
But and I'm not going to sit here and say Nintendo's perfect. They do some stupid stuff. Their online service is trash.
Absolutely.
But they just still find ways to
win. Yeah. And that was the thing. The only thing I can find wrong with the Switch right now are the Joy-Cons. And I don't mean the Joy-Cons as in the Joy-Cons are dumb, they're stupid, they don't fit right. It's the drift.
Well, the PS5 and Series X are both getting drift too. It's not talked about as much.
Wow.
I've only used my Joy-Cons like maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm on the Pro controller.
Yeah. I
stay docked. I'm not a mobile. I know Jeff. He plays his Switch a lot handheld.
Caitlin plays almost all of her games handheld.
I put it in the dock and I'm done.
I've played my most recent playthroughs of the Donkey Kong Country original trilogy have been handheld. I have missed that old Super Nintendo controller.
They got them.
I know. I'm just saying, but
you can have
it works.
You can have it on TV and in all its HD glory. With the Super Nintendo.
Is it HD though? Whenever the screen is just mashed together,
close enough.
Yeah.
And with the Super Nintendo controller, wireless. Which, if you remember, for our review for the Super Nintendo Mini, SNES Mini, way back, was it episode 2 or 3 or 4?
Yeah.
We talked about how we wish the controllers are wireless. Lo and behold, here
it is.
SNES Online has them. You can play that on the TV with the wireless controller with that rewind function.
So,
why didn't Santa Claus bring you one of those controllers?
I don't know. Because I've been bad, probably.
And an NES controller.
So, for those who have heard us talk about Finish the Fight, and you may not know this.
Yeah, they started...
Finish the Fight has basically... I sent you the message, that's right. Finish the Fight has basically run out of Halo games to talk about. So they have moved into some retro games. So one of their first ones they were talking about was Super Mario 64. And I haven't listened to it yet.
It just released here recently,
didn't it? It just released this week. So I'm looking forward to listening to that for those guys. But they posted on Instagram, what did they think about this game and about the Nintendo 64 as a whole. And, it was... Mario 64 is so innovative. I mean, it literally set the stage for all 3D platforming games and adventure games going forward. Think Zelda. Zelda, like you said earlier, or before anyway, it would not work in a 2D platform anymore. Not necessarily that it wouldn't work, but it wouldn't be as good as it is in a 3D platform.
Well, there you go with Nintendo just setting trends again.
Yeah. So, and I think that kind of catches everything up. Those are like the 3 things just popped in my head to talk about. So
yeah.
So why are we here?
Oh,
go ahead.
Remember I told you to hold the thought about EA?
Yes.
This is a little bit of breaking news that's happened recently. So Lucasfilm has created a new department, Lucasfilm Games. And they have taken the exclusive Star Wars license from EA.
Okay.
EA was going to have exclusive rights to Star Wars through 2023. Actually, I need to look into that and make sure I'm right. I know that they're at least losing it then, but I think they may have lost it now.
So what does this mean? This means that not EA, but like a sister company of EA is going to be doing the Star Wars games going forward?
Well, not really sure. We know that the first game under the Lucasfilms games umbrella is actually going to be done by Bethesda. So basically, Lucasfilms over it. Bethesda is producing it, and what's the other company that did Wolfenstein? They're developing it, but it's an Indiana Jones game. We know that's coming up.
Okay.
But I mean, we might see different people doing Star Wars games.
Hold on, who doesn't Microsoft own Bethesda?
They do. Some people are wondering if that's going to be an Xbox exclusive.
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know.
I don't think it will, but
well, Phil Spencer's already said he's not for exclusives, but at the same time, come on.
I don't know.
So yeah, EA, if they're not losing it now, and again, I should have looked into that before I brought it up.
Come on now.
But they are.
People who's listening to this podcast know we don't prep for anything.
Yeah, we don't. I
literally come up with those questions off my head, and when we walked down the hallway to the lush Ham and Spam studio, and the first question
sponsored by Totino's Pizza Rolls.
Pizza.
That's Pizza Bagels.
That's Pizza Bagel. There you go. Pizza.
Which I never had.
You ever had them?
I never did.
They're overrated.
Oh well, yeah.
Sorry.
Kind of what I figured.
Anyway, when we walked in the door, we literally turned at each other and said, well, first thing was, what are we going to sit on? But the second thing was, hey, what is this episode going to be about? We just kind of looked at each other. Yeah, we'll just wing it.
Yeah.
We've done
from the hip
pretty well so far, I think.
So, but yeah, EA has made some real terrible Star Wars games. The recent Battlefront games, which from what I've heard, they've kind of fixed Battlefront 2 to where it's not as bad as it was. But man, EA...
I saw Maze play it. It didn't look super, super bad. But
well, the problem is they love their loot boxes.
Yeah, that's what I can't stand.
So all you want to play is Darth Vader? Oh, pay us $5 and you might get him.
Yeah, I'm so worried Halo's going to be like that. But I'm not here to talk about Halo right now.
And plus, there wasn't a whole lot of depth to Battlefield 2 compared to the original Battlefield 2, which...
Oh, no, yeah.
was incredible. And it was part of the sixth generation of consoles where they had some amazing Star Wars games.
Yeah. So you and I, same subject, different material, if that's the same thing. You and I have kind of kicked around doing a review or a ranking of Star Wars games.
Yeah, specifically for that generation of consoles.
So the generation would be
the OG,
PlayStation 2,
yeah, OG Xbox,
and GameCube. So we're gonna kick that around. We might sit on that for a couple more episodes, but we want interaction from you guys. We've had some interaction with our Discord guys.
Yeah,
and they've kind of given their 2 cents. But we've got some other listeners all over the world, literally.
Looking at you, Canadian Bacon.
Exactly. This is the first time we've mentioned Canadian Bacon in a while. So, hey, Canadian Bacon, whoever you are.
Hope you're doing fine. hope your buckets are overrunning with maple syrup
and Canadian bacon,
which is just ham.
It is. Why is it Canadian? Anyway, we're not here for that either.
Wonder if they call ham American bacon.
By God, they better.
Be a great band name.
We didn't throw tea in the harbor for them to not call ham American bacon.
Yeah, sixth generation Star Wars games, and we're talking both the KOTOR games, Rogue Squadron 2 and 3 for GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Battlefront 1 and 2,
right?
Multiple systems. Had Jedi Starfighter. Crap. Episode 3.
Not so.
That was KOTOR. KOTOR 1 and 2.
Oh, my bad.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
And of course, in the Discord, that kind of branched off a little bit into the Shadows of the Empire, which, how we have it, we've not given the Nintendo 64 enough love.
We really haven't.
You know what else we haven't given enough love? The PlayStation.
The old PS1.
Yeah.
Well, we've done more for it. I mean, we had Driver, Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
We did Metal Gear Solid.
Amazing idea. And I really need to go back through and do Metal Gear Solid.
Also,
reprise episode.
I didn't know this, but I've got Symphony of the Night on PS1.
Why did I buy it if you have it?
Wait, did you buy it?
I bought it for the 360 when we went through it.
I bought it for PS4. I didn't know I had
Xbox One, rather.
Look, all my belongings in this world are crammed into one little room. And sometimes I dig
including a
around.
Homer Simpson cardboard cutout, mind you, that
I know
he's
it,
had
yeah,
for the
that-
last 20 years.
Yeah, I've got that. So I found it and I was like, I did not know I had this.
Well, there you go.
You know how many times I've gone to eBay and bought something, and
And
when
there
I
were
go
two
to put it
copies?
in that drawer, it's like, oh, I had it.
I already had it the whole time.
I've got so many copies of Mortal Kombat 2.
For multiple systems. Oh, and this is why I absolutely love you, Hammy. Are we caught up on everything else?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, so the real reason why we're here, go.
What do you consider the greatest video game console of all time?
All right, so give me some parameters for this question.
Well, first of all,
Not favorite.
yeah, exactly, not favorite. Not. I mean, if you ask me what my favorite is, I'm gonna say Super Nintendo. Do I think it's the best? No. It's like Alabama quarterbacks. Who do I think's the best Alabama quarterback of all time? You know, someone might say Joe Namath. Who's my favorite? Blake Sims. I can't believe it. I
Can't think of his name.
I almost forgot that. Blake Sims, my favorite of all time. Is
Okay.
he the best? No.
No. Okay.
But he was my favorite, mainly because
But who's the best?
at that one LSU game he was doing the
The crotch top.
yeah
Oh, by the way, hey, congratulations, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Roll Tide.
If anybody happens to listen to this, and Brandon, if and when you listen to this, I'm sorry, because he's an Auburn fan. And
Why?
Casey.
Why's he sorry? They didn't lose.
But didn't they, though?
No, they didn't play.
They lost their ball game, though. You don't even know that.
I didn't know that. So anyway, yeah, get that out of the way. What you think's the best, not necessarily your favorite.
Okay.
Parameters.
Yeah, I need more parameters. Like, obviously,
Let's go. 7th gen and before.
Okay, 7th gen being Xbox One,
No, 360
360. Okay.
and PS3 and Wii.
All right. So I'm not going to rank the Wii. Let me go through. Let me try to decipher mine verbally. Okay.
Okay.
Xbox 360. I've probably got more games than any other console.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the console that I have the most games for that I've never played, and I'm looking at 4. Well, I'm looking at 3 right now. There's Oblivion. There's Skyrim. I've never played either of those. There's All Pro Football. There's Fallout 3, which I kind of dabbled in. There's Mass Effect 2 I've never played. There's Red Red Redemption
What a great game.
that I've never played. So, you know, I've got the
There's my
most.
copy of Lost
There's your
via
copy.
Domus.
Yeah, there's your copy of Lost. Back when I was achievement hunting, and you said that was an easy 1,000 points.
It was.
So I
So
mean,
was beating Batman Arkham Asylum, getting all the upgrades before you did so.
why are you gonna pick on me like that? But I wouldn't consider 360 my favorite or my what I thought would be the best. I never played a PlayStation 3. I've never held the PlayStation 3 controller.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of the Wii. I did like, a couple of the games, but the motion controls I could do without. The one before that, I might have to come back to that one. I didn't play an original Xbox until you brought over like Halo 2 when I finally got into Halo 3. GameCube, I didn't have a GameCube, and I didn't really consider it to be as great as maybe some in this podcast think that it is.
Well, that was another one of those instances where Nintendo
Trying to be a trendsetter, and it kind of backfired.
yeah, because it was a powerful little system, but those mini discs held it back so bad.
So I'm going to shelve PlayStation 2 for right now. Okay, the one before that. What's the system before that?
PS1, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, and what? Is that it? Is that the only two in that generation? Or is that kind of a split generation?
Dreamcast, I can't remember where it was.
I say I wouldn't put Dreamcast in there. Me personally, because I didn't play a whole lot of Dreamcast. I wouldn't put Saturn in there. PlayStation, I had a PlayStation. It had some great games. Best though, probably not. 64. It had some things that I really liked about it. The joystick kind of was a turn off.
Yeah, the whole controller. It
Um,
was kind of weird.
so now we're gonna go back to the one previous to that, which is your Super Sega and whatever else was out there at that time.
Yeah.
What else is considered 3DO? Maybe things like that.
Oh dang.
Anyway, the two big ones.
Yeah.
So this right here was actually another Twitter question. Somebody had said something about living through the '90s console war between Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Which one did you think was the better system? And I responded personally, not through the show account. I responded personally that growing up I loved the Genesis, but in retrospect, the Super Nintendo was a far superior system. In my eyes, look at you. You're like looking at like what? In my eyes, the Super Nintendo was the far superior system in a retrospective, but I still really, really love the Sonic games. So I'm going to shelve PlayStation 2. I'm going to shelve Super Nintendo. Nintendo, it had what it was what it was. It did what it did. Everybody kind of knows this by now. A lot of the stuff holds up. Some of it still doesn't.
About the Sega Master System.
I never played a Master.
TurboGrafx 16.
Nope.
Neo Geo.
Nope.
Atari 7600.
Nope. Why do I have a retro gaming podcast? So for me personally, it's
Virtual Boy.
I do.
Is that your greatest?
No, it's not my greatest. I don't even know what it's like generation 5.5 or something. I don't even know what I consider it. So for me personally, it's going to come down to the PlayStation 2 and the Super Nintendo. Now, which one is it going to be? I don't know. PlayStation 2 for me was a lot like my 360. I usually played NCAA football on it. The Metal Gear games are good. I'm going to have to go, and I know it's probably a little blasphemous for me at this point, and especially to not consider something a little newer. I might have to say the Super Nintendo is probably what I think is the best system of all time.
Really?
And again, a lot of that is just because I haven't played a whole lot of different systems, but
well, it's definitely my favorite.
So I mean, if I went by generation, it would be Super, PlayStation 2, and for me personally, probably the Xbox 360. But of those three, like I said, I mean, I think I would almost have to go Super Nintendo. Honestly.
Okay. All right. So Super Nintendo for you? Well, when I was thinking about this question, like I was thinking, what all does the system offer me to be the greatest?
Okay.
And I think we've already talked about how the PS2 is top selling console of all time.
Sure.
It's a console that played all the games from the previous generation.
Right. The first of its kind to do that.
It's a console that had an incredible library.
It did. And we say that, but and that's that right there that you see there, I think is the only PlayStation 2 games I still have. I don't know where they're all at. I've not sold them. I think they've all just dispersed. I don't know. I don't know if I've lent them out. They just haven't come back or what, but.
And I might add a great library independent of the PS1 library.
Yes.
Like it had its own.
Yes.
And it also had functionality besides a game system as a DVD player.
Yeah, you have a point there because that's what a lot of people ended up buying the PlayStation 2 for because was it? Well, even the 360.
Well, it was the cheapest DVD player at the time.
Yeah, it was the cheapest DVD player at the time.
But
I was about to say something about Blu-ray, but 360 wouldn't do Blu-ray discs. Only PlayStation.
It had a peripheral you could do HD DVD, which failed.
Yeah.
But did you know the PS4 won't do HD Blu or 4K Blu-ray?
Really?
But the Xbox One X will. The PS4 Pro won't. And they own Blu-ray. So anyway. So the PS2 offered all those things, but
it was also a computer.
But there was one system that gave me all that plus more, and that was the Xbox 360. An incredible library. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, like I said, that's the most games.
I mean, look at the console-specific games it had. It had Halo 3, had Halo 4, had Halo Reach, it had Gears 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Had Fable 2 and Fable 3. And Fable 2 was great. Had Mass Effect 1. Now, 2 and 3 came out for other systems. Okay. Mass Effect 1 was an Xbox 360 exclusive.
Assassin's Creed was an exclusive for a long time.
But I think for me, the thing that sets 360 above PS2 for me is Xbox Live. Because Xbox Live, even today, PlayStation has not come up with something that's as good as Xbox Live.
Well, because they're still trying to do it on a free format.
No. You pay now. Just PS Plus.
Sorry.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. What? I don't have a PlayStation. I haven't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2.
Okay, well, yeah, PlayStation Plus.
But see, that was always the thing. Is a big sell point. Well, you ain't got to you ain't got to pay that monthly fee or that yearly fee to.
They decided you have to now.
Okay.
So Xbox
That's
Live.
why I laugh. Is because I had heated debates with people. It's like I ain't paying all this stuff to play online. And
Well, that was the only way they could start to keep up with Xbox Live because he had silver and gold.
Right.
But as far as dependability, as far as just everything it offered, but Xbox 360 also had. Trust me, PSN's down a lot more than Live.
After the Red Ring of Death, dependability I'll give you. Yes.
Well, here's the thing: PS2 had more fatal flaws.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
PS3 had more fatal flaws. In fact, when I got the Red Ring of Death on my 360, I was playing Fable 2. Got it, called them. They sent me a box. I put it in the box, sent it to them. They shipped me a refurbished unit back.
Same.
Our good friend, lowercase J, his PS3 had a fatal flaw.
Crapped out on him.
He called them. They laughed at him. He had to buy a new one.
Really?
Yeah. And then his second one got stolen, and we got him a 360.
I remember that, yeah.
So, yeah. No, Xbox was very good about that. But, again, it's just like people are focused on the Joy-Con drift, but they're not talking about everyone else has drift.
Right.
They focus on Red Ring of Death. They didn't talk about the PS3's problems or the PS2's problems. PS2 is notorious for having hardware problems.
Well, see, I knew that the PlayStation 2, I had the original block system.
Yeah.
And then I got rid of it. I gave it to a cousin, and then I got the Slim. And the Slim would work for a little bit until something happened. I don't know if it was a lens issue or what. The thing became a Frisbee more than it became a gaming system for me. Like it got so bad at one point, I had to take it and turn it upside down for it to work properly. I had to change the positions and stuff. So,
but anyway, when I was talking about dependability, I was talking about Xbox Live, by the way, not the 360 itself. It's a lot more dependable than PSN, but it had the Xbox Live Arcade. Remember that?
I do remember that. The living arcade where you.
No, it had all those indie games that came up.
Right. Well, then it had that arcade that.
Oh yeah, that arcade room.
Arcade kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember. I do know what you're talking about now. But it had the arcade, which you'd have the summer of arcade.
Yeah.
That's where it introduced me to stuff like Bastion. I think Limbo.
I remember you
Just
playing
all
Limbo.
all those indie games, and they had the Doritos Crash Course game.
I still play that from time to time.
But just all those factors together, just the great online service, which was revolutionary for its time, and it still is. I mean, that's the bar. They set the bar for online services for consoles.
Wasn't Borderlands an exclusive for Xbox?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm going back and forth because
you're trying to figure out the exclusives.
No. I'm going back and forth. I don't necessarily want to change my answer. I want to stick with it. Now, my Super Nintendo library isn't what a lot of people's are. But hey, I got Turtles in Time, so I pretty much trump everybody anyway.
There you go. But the 360 had a great controller.
It did have a good controller.
It was just, and again, it was a DVD player and a CD player, and you could save music on there.
See, that's one of the things we would do. We would save music to it so we could play the game and then, play the music in behind it.
So all those factors together, and again, incredible library, not just exclusives but other games. To me, Xbox 360, as it stands right now, is the greatest console of all time.
That's a strong argument. It really is. And like I said, I kind of went back and I didn't want to consider it, I guess, because it was just quote unquote too new. But that's very valid arguments. To me, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, and I would even throw 3 in there. The Mortal Kombats, Killer
Oh,
Instinct.
there's no doubt Super Nintendo had an amazing library.
Right, and
I don't know if anyone else ever matched that library. Switch, however, is
they're trying.
Yeah, they're
trying.
definitely.
If they can get the intellectual rights.
If Switch had a great online service, man.
Dude, you know what would put it over for me right now? If Nickelodeon would come back out and remaster the original the four numbered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games.
Nickelodeon, they own the rights.
They own the rights.
If they did the SNES version of Turtles in Time.
Right.
You know, we saw that arcade.
Yeah.
That 1-Up arcade.
Yeah.
And it just, I was actually on the fence
about getting it.
It's the one factor that kept me from doing it.
It's the arcade version.
It's not the Super Nintendo version.
Like if it was the Super Nintendo version with the arcade graphics,
100%.
100%.
I own it. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I'll have it.
Let's try to. I mean,
I'll put it in the back of my truck.
Why just drive around town with
it?
Yeah. While everything's out of the room,
guy.
let's see if we can build an arcade cabinet. I mean, I know it'd be a bunch of emulators and everything, but
Clint, that's illegal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whoops. Oh, is it? Well, then.
No, I don't. I mean, if you actually do it, we're not. Of course, we're not going to do it. Wink, wink. But I would like a custom cabinet.
Oh, absolutely. Like that. We went to. Gosh, what's it called? Rocket City Brewery, and we went to Huntsville.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. They had their own Mario Kart game.
Yeah, they had their own Mario Kart game, but then they had all the old classic, the Turtles 2, or what we consider Turtles 2, but the Turtles arcade game, and all of that. So,
by the way, I consider it criminal.
No Simpsons. I don't get that.
I consider it criminal that you have all that space in your living room and kitchen now, that new flooring.
Yeah.
And you haven't got Mario Kart Home Circuit.
I don't know if I would like that. I'll be honest.
I might get it and bring it over.
Oh, well, okay. I'll let you do that.
I mean, because I have nowhere to play it.
You have nowhere to play it, but you want it.
Yeah.
Just like, all 7 copies of your Mortal Kombat 2.
My gosh. Every room I walk into, I can play Mortal Kombat 2.
So, upcoming, we talked about the Star Wars review.
We'll eventually get to Super Metroid.
Eventually, we'll get Super Metroid. And this is not obviously a knock to finish the fight, guys. I want to do a review of
Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64. It deserves it, man. We got a ton of games that we could do, but
Twilight Princess at some point.
I know. Stop talking about Twilight Princess. I need to finish. I just can't. I can't find the motivation to do it. Like, if you were to sit here and watch me, I would play it right now. Like, I know it would kill you to watch.
Oh,
it
would absolutely kill me.
But, I feel like we need to do a Virtual Boy review. Now, it would be literally the Virtual Boy and all the games that there were for it, all 4 of them.
Oh, by the way, I ordered a book the other day. It's an encyclopedia of every game that ever came out for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And as a bonus, they threw in every game for Virtual Boy.
All 3 pages.
So, yeah, let's say it's like, 11 games?
Have you seen some of the prices for that? Carrie found a Virtual Boy on auction here in town the other day.
Really?
And it had gotten up over $100.
And you didn't tell me.
No, I didn't. So, anyway, sounds like Maze's buddies have gotten here.
Yeah,
so,
I hear them.
I think this right here probably be a good spot to end the episode. What I will say though is anybody that can, give us a shout out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere.
Quick question I'm gonna spring on you.
Okay.
2021 resolution for the podcast.
Do a weekly podcast and not miss a date.
Mine's to get acknowledged by AJ Styles.
Wow, you have really put yourself out there. So how are you gonna do it?
Well, I follow him on Instagram, and he's got a whole arcade room. And I was like, man, he's my favorite. He's my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's a huge gamer.
See,
he's a Southern guy like us.
I feel like whenever, people will talk about, I'd like to find a podcast. Anybody recommend a podcast? I feel like I'll put our podcast out there. I'm like, did I really just do that? Like, They really want to do that every time somebody's wanting.
Well, I mean,
like, how do we get the podcast out there? And the only real answer is the listeners.
yeah,
That's got to be.
We
it.
don't live that far from him, if you think about it.
From his everyday home.
Yeah.
Let's go find him.
No.
go
We'll
hang
go
out
to
with
jail.
Adrian.
What I'm saying is, there's got to be someone listening that knows someone who's got a cousin who's worked on a truck for someone who knows AJ stuff.
What is it? 7 degrees of separation?
Yeah, there's got to be 7 degrees at least of separation.
Well, we got to find some more famous people to hang out with or something, or to know. At
Maybe
least.
Canadian Bacon will turn out to be Tyler Breeze or something.
Dude, that would be
another fantastic.
that
wrestler.
would be really great.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, please hit us up, guys. We need some interaction from all of you. So if anybody made it to, minute number 45, 46 of this podcast, and you're hearing us beg to tell your friends about us, we just want to grow. We know we're not very good. We like it, and we like to do things that other people like. So if you have a request for us to do something or talk about something or go in depth with something or shut up or whatever, just tell us, and we'll try to oblige as much as we can in the ham and spam fashion.
As much as we possibly can.
I love you that you made another Simpsons reference. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks. Again, go follow us on social media. Tag us and stuff. Wave at us. Write to us. Send us money.
No, we're good.
Thanks, guys.